Hi, my name is Gschwandtner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure meeting with Andy Miller. He is the CEO of a company called BigSwiftKick. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you, Gerhard. Pleasure to be here.
You just wrote a new book, Relationships Are Everything in Sales. What made you think of writing that book?
As I've worked with clients over 30 years and we debrief the deals they won and we debrief the deals they lost, what I saw was when they lost a deal, it was because they got out-relationshiped. They got to the same people the competitors did, but didn't build as strong a relationship, or their competitors got to somebody above that they didn't get to.
What is in your book that is new and eye-opening that hasn't existed in other books?
I think what makes it different is how the information is applied. I'll give you an example. There was a client of mine. He got to the right person. This guy has the power, has the authority, has admitted we're a really good fit, and he's just not making a decision. And I view it as, well, how would you like to have the owner's manual for your prospects? So I asked him a couple questions based upon the information in the book. And what we discovered was this guy has 6 direct reports, and he would not make a decision unless the other 6 direct reports had bought in. And I said to him, you need to go contact the other 6 reports, get to know them, find out why they would be supportive of this. Once you've got all 6 bought in, you can come back to your main contact and he'll make the decision. And he did it. And about 3 weeks later, he had a deal.
There's no longer a single decision maker. There's always a group of people that can either say yes or no.
Yeah, you could get to the so-called decision maker, which, as you said, doesn't exist anymore. And let's say he or she made the decision, and then they, without getting anyone else's input, basically they're going to feel like you just jammed it down their throat, and now it's going to get sabotaged.
Tell us a little bit about the balance between making a rational decision versus an emotional decision. How should salespeople navigate that?
Everybody makes an emotional decision. They make the decision, then they try to justify it rationally. I had a couple of friends who worked for NASA. They were all rocket scientists, literally. And I asked them about how did they go about making a decision to buy their car? They made an emotional decision unknowingly, and then they did case building through their research on why the car they wanted was the right car. We're bias-making machines, right? I think some may be more biased or less biased, but you've got to give them what they need, help them through the rationalization. There's the emotional versus the logical or the rational.
Right.
If you've done some kind of data, you've done some kind of research, that's where you get to educate them, to get them to think differently, assuming they're receptive. If they're not receptive, probably not going to change their mind because they're not even going to engage.
What is the mindset that salespeople need to adopt to build a better relationship?
Quickly identify the style of person they're dealing with and adapt quickly. I'll give you an example. My friends in real estate have an acronym that they use. It's called FORD: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Everybody wants to talk about that. Well, not everybody. Some people just want to get down to business. You start off with, hey, nice to meet you, break a little bit of ice. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your family. If they go straight to, I don't want to get into that right now. Let's just get down to business. Guess what? You better realize who you're dealing with. Others will tell you you got an hour-long meeting. They'll spend 55 minutes talking about their family, and you won't get around to what you wanted to talk about. So,
and then you run out of time.
Yeah, you run out of time and go, but they enjoyed the meeting.
Yeah.
But you walked away empty-handed with not knowing, is there even any interest there or not? We should learn how to recognize who we're dealing with and then learn how to adapt for maximum communication, maximum relatedness.
Sometimes when salespeople close a sale, it takes even longer to get the paperwork done because there's procrastination inside the company. How can you close on time so you make your numbers by the end of the quarter?
You have to know who all the stakeholders are, right? And that includes procurement and legal and operations and finance. You need to know who all the cast of characters are. And then you need to identify how do they work. And if I understand how they work, I understand their style, I can adapt accordingly and get it to move faster.
So why should salespeople and sales managers and sales enablement managers buy your book?
because this is a life skill that every single one of us should have learned in junior high school. If you understand how somebody is wired, the owner's manual to that individual, it'll totally change your relationships. And I'll give you some non-sales examples. I'm at the airport talking to the gate agent, want to know if I can get an upgrade or not. She says the plane is full. I recognize who she is, how she's wired. I adapt accordingly, say thank you. We talk a little bit. And 5 minutes later, she's paging me to the podium and she hands me a first class ticket. And I said, well, thank you. I thought you said it was full. That wasn't possible. I really appreciate this. It's just, how did you do this? And she says, see the guy over there? I said, yeah. She goes, he was mean to me. I gave you his seat. This book is about understanding who am I talking to? How are they wired? How do I increase my effectiveness as a communicator? And how do I increase my effectiveness as somebody who's relatable for them?
Thank you, Andy. Anybody who's listening to this, if you want to feel better about the profession of selling, get the book, because the secrets you learn about the relationships with clients also apply to your life.